Coverkiller Nation, we're merely 5 weeks into the new year, into 2014, and we already have an album review of heightened importance, one with 5 years of history behind it. And considering all that has taken place for this particular band, especially one member, its principal member, one that has certainly grabbed the headlines due to his struggles in the past couple of years, this is certainly an album that has premier importance. This is a return that some people thought was impossible. This is a return that everybody feared would never happen, but now it has. We have, from Behemoth, the Satanist. Of course, the back history is one that is known by any metalhead, any fan of extreme metal that has been following this band, or even those who perhaps have not. Of course, Nergal, a couple of years ago, one of the principal members of Behemoth, was diagnosed with leukemia, was rushed to the hospital. They struggled to find a match, but they did find one, and he did have a successful surgery and recovered successfully, now to the point where he was able to construct this album along with his bandmates, and the album is finally here. It's 5 years. 5 years have passed. All I have to say is that from a personal standpoint, from, really tearing down the veil as I did with the previous video, this is certainly a great story. This is one of those stories that happens in heavy metal every so often that you just have to sit back and really marvel at. You have to sit back and really showcase your appreciation, regardless to the fact that this is an album entitled The Satanist, and regardless to the fact that satanic music or things like that is something that we're going to talk about in the future, but this is certainly one of those things that you can't really use the term miracle to describe it. It's one where you have to just showcase and give a lot of appreciation to the doctors, give a lot of appreciation to the people who supported Nergal throughout this time, give a lot of support and appreciation to everybody who had any sort of critical piece to add to this puzzle to help make it complete and help him recover. We are happy to have you back. And this album is living proof. 9 tracks, 45 minutes in length. We have tracks that are as short as 3 minutes in length. We have tracks that are more massive than 7. This is certainly an album that's has a lot of people wondering. They had a lot of people really thinking about whether or not this was going to be just as aggressive, just as good, just as fantastic as previous Behemoth releases have really granted upon us. What were we going to get? Was it going to be something that was going to be different, or was it going to be something that really was going to continue that Behemoth banner, riding high, only this time perhaps riding it just a little bit higher, based around all of the struggles that have been overcome? Well, within these 9 tracks, we have Behemoth at their trademark style. We have Behemoth at their trademark best. We have Behemoth slaying through these 9 tracks and really pulling no punches. They are being very open about the Satanism. They're being very open about the fact that this is an album entitled The Satanist. This is one that certainly has all of those little trademarks, all of the hallmarks of premier blackened death metal, although I'd say this one leans a little bit more toward the black metal side. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. Subgenres in this particular state, it really doesn't matter. This is instead all about how the album itself flows, how the music sounds, what's it all about. And this one, it's all about sincere and personal flow. This is one that really is you're able to breeze through very, very quickly. There are a couple songs that can become distracting. And by distracting, I mean in a good way. Distracting, I mean in a way in which you're going to want to go back and you're going to want to revisit them. And once you do that, you're not going to feel pigeonholed to stay with that song. You're not going to feel as though you need to stay there. You do still have the ability to push on, because this is, after all, an album that was 5 years in the making, for one, and for two, you start to think to yourself after you listen to that one track 2 or 3 different times, well, if that's track number 3, what the hell does the rest of this album really have? What the hell does the other 2/3 of this album really hold for me? Are there going to be a lot more songs like this? And you're going to find that there are. You're going to find that the evil's been dialed up. You're going to find that the riffs are definitely huge. You're going to find that there is just a sincere, 100% unadulterated hate on this album. Something where you can see the flowing of emotion, the flowing of the evil, the flowing of everything pouring out of the instruments and the voice of Behemoth on this album. Something where it showcases not only triumph, but also pride. Something that showcases a lot of pride, a lot of sincerity, not to mention a lot of true love of the dark. The final final track on this album, O Father, O Satan, O Son, is certainly one that is able to really illuminate all of this with perfection. This is one that really reminds me of songs such as the last track off of the Forever Endeavor by Unforsaken, where you have this great album full of just fantastic tracks, and then you see this curious little lengthy epic at the end, and you wonder what that's all about, and you realize very quickly that they have saved one of their best for last. They have saved certainly the meat and potatoes, the big slab of turkey leg for the very final track on the album, because this is able to combine everything that this album has been able to build. It's able to combine fantastic riffing. It's able to really showcase the power of the percussion and the power of the drums, the power of the bass, the power of the voice. It showcases strength in lyricism, not to mention also strength in songwriting. This is certainly a song that Behemoth fans can be exceptionally proud of. This is an album that also can attest to that same token, but at the very same time, this is also a song that really highlights everything that the Satanist as an album is all about. It's really able to showcase that grandiose love of the dark, that grandiose love of evil, that Satanist ideal within musical scope. And it's also one that's able to showcase the fact that Behemoth is a band that has a tremendous repertoire, and one that they do showcase really on every album. However, they have certainly made sure to do so on this album, considering it has been so long since the release of their last. I have to give this album a lot of credit. This is one that easily could have gone various different ways. This is something where in 5 years the band certainly could have twisted and turned and become a little bit of a different side of itself, as opposed to really coming back and being stronger and sounding stronger than they've ever been before. This is instead really a testament to Behemoth's own resolve. It's been a testament really to Nergal's own resolve as well. This is certainly one where you can see that Behemoth as a whole, Behemoth as a band, Behemoth as an empire, is not going away anytime soon, and even if you try to curse it with disease, it's a band that will only continue to persevere. 88 out of 100 on this album. Really enjoyed this. This was certainly one that had some fear even invested within my own bones, even though I am very confident to Behemoth's abilities. This is instead an album that was able to silence that almost from track number 1. This was one that definitely was able to silence all of those negative emotions almost immediately, and instead help me headbang and embroil myself in the same rage, in the same evil, in that same feeling of darkness that perhaps was experienced while constructing these demonic tracks. What did you guys think about this album? How does it really fare up to the rest of their discography in your opinion? Do you really like this album, or is this one that's just kind of to you? Let me know in the comments. I want to know what you guys think about this disc. And whenever this comes out on Tuesday, I want to see each and every one of your asses at a record store. Take a camera if you must, and record yourself purchasing this album, just to show the guys in Behemoth that we still give them all of our support. And that is all I have. Why am I still recording? I don't know.